Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a trip down memory lane, back to a time before smartphones buzzed in our pockets and the answer to every question was, just a Google search away. Do you remember what life was really like without the internet? Let's dive in. First, let's talk about finding information. Imagine this. You need a recipe for your aunt's famous apple pie. There was no scrolling through food blogs. You'd pull out a hefty, well-loved cookbook from the shelf, or even better, you'd call your aunt. And what about school projects? My desk used to be covered with a towering set of encyclopedias. We'd spend hours flipping through those heavy volumes looking for P for photosynthesis and getting directions. We were all navigators, armed with a giant foldable paper map that never seemed to fold back the right way. You'd have to pull over to the side of the road to figure out your next turn, or heaven forbid, you'd have to ask a real person for directions. Now, how did we keep in touch? It was an art form. Long-distance calls on the landline were a special treat, often reserved for weekends when the rates were lower. The phone was usually attached to the wall with a curly cord that would get tangled in everything. You couldn't just text "on my way." You made a plan, and you stuck to it. For deeper connections, there was nothing like receiving a handwritten letter in the mail. You'd recognize the handwriting on the envelope and feel that little spark of excitement. It was something tangible, something you could keep and reread. Entertainment was an event. You couldn't just binge-watch an entire series whenever you wanted. We had the TV guide. We'd circle our favorite shows for the week and make sure we were on the couch ready to go when they aired. And movie night? That meant a trip to Blockbuster. The thrill of walking down the aisles, hoping the new release you wanted was still on the shelf, and grabbing a box of popcorn on the way out. That was the experience. Music wasn't just a click away either. We'd listen to the radio, fingers poised on the record button to tape our favorite songs, or save up our money to buy a whole album on vinyl or CD, enjoying the artwork and liner notes. And shopping? That was a full-day adventure. If you wanted a new pair of shoes, you drove to the shoe store. If you wanted to compare prices on a new television, you drove to 3 different electronics stores. We flipped through thick mail-order catalogs like Sears or JCPenney, filled out the tiny order forms, and then waited weeks for our package to arrive. There was a certain satisfaction in finally holding the item you'd waited so patiently for. Looking back, life was certainly slower. It required more patience and planning. But there was a charm to it, wasn't there? A connection to the physical world and the people right in front of us. Of course, I wouldn't trade the convenience of video calling my grandkids or looking up a fact in 2 seconds. Both eras have their magic. The digital age gives us connection across miles, while the old days gave us connection across the dinner table. What are your favorite memories from before the internet? Share them in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching and reminiscing with me today. If you enjoyed this little trip to the past, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. See you next time.